fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatec, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Good evening and welcome to ARL-TV's broadcast of Week 6. This week we're at Suzuka International Racing Course for the iRacing Grand Prix Series. Looking forward to this one, real favourite of course of the drivers amongst us. My name is Lee Thompson, I'll be with you for the course of the evening, and joining me today I have Dean Prescott, been absent for a couple of weeks, and Ryan Littlemore. So good evening guys.
Hello Lee, it's good to be back.
Are you feeling a little bit better now, are you, Dean?
We'll soon find out if anything crops up, but yeah, fingers crossed, looking better.
I'm looking forward to an exciting race tonight. Guys, you're going to be shocked, right? Ready? We may get a pit stop during this week's race. So it's very, very close. I've been told we're looking at, purely on pace, we're looking at maybe a second, 2 seconds difference between running no stop, running one stop. So that's really going to be, depending on maybe where you start in the grid as to how you're expecting to get stuck in traffic, and we might see a little bit of variation.
Is that just the front runners or is that everybody?
I would imagine that it's conceivable that the front runners are going to be more likely to go for a one stop. Those more in the midfield, they're more likely to maybe to get caught in traffic and lose any advantage. But maybe if somebody feels like they're out of position, then it could well work for them. So we could see a bit of variety. I was looking at the 4 o'clock race a minute ago, the previous race that we had here, and Ollie Picala won to Alex Simpson in second. Ollie Picala went for a no stop, Alex Simpson went for a one stop. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit of strategic variation this week.
What Lee, and Dean, what areas are we looking at around the circuit where the drivers could make an overtake?
Really, turns 1 into 2, turn 11, which is going to be the hairpin, and turn 15, the very final chicane. That's going to be our main places to watch probably. We've just got less than a minute left of a warm-up, so I'm very, very quickly going to take you through the grid before we get started. So pole position, we've got Alex Simpson. So Alex Simpson's got his first pole position that we've seen in our strength of field races. Rocco Barone has actually got the overall pole position for the week with a 1 minute 30.8, but he's not in this session. So Alex Simpson pole, Javier Soto P2, Ricardo Castroledo P3, Ollie Picala P4. There's less than, what we're at, 600ths of a second between those top 4 drivers, all in the 31.1s. That's insanely close. P5, Suzuki Umeshima, sorry. P6, Yuho Abe. P7, Antoine Higlin. P8, Steve Kazmatis. P9, Omar Soto. It's the first time I think we've seen him in one of our strength of field races. P10, Jan Zalewski. P11, Yuri Mantley. P12, Fabio Di Carmo. P13, Sam Kumo. P14, Mohamed S. Patel. P15, Yoni Hagner. P16, Justin Lindsay. P17, Michael Goman. P18, Kleber Alvin Tofilo. P19, Louis Baboni. And P20, Paul A. Nelson. So we've got a full grid of 20 this week. So we've got, again, mostly familiar names that we're used to. We've got a couple of people who maybe normally slot into the second split in the strength of field race. So maybe this isn't going to be the highest strength of field that we've seen in the season so far, but some big names at the top, and as I said, less than a tenth of a second between those top 4 positions.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to have a very, very entertaining race here. As you said, the top 4 all close to each other. So, but as we've seen previously, anything can happen at turn 1, as we saw last week, Lee.
So we're just waiting for the last car or two now to get onto the grid. We've just got a few seconds left before the lights will go. This is going to be a 30-lap race. 90 kilograms of fuel they're going to be carrying if they're doing a no-stop. Right, so revs are starting to build, waiting for the green lights. This is going to be week 6 from Suzuka International Racing Course. And they're away. Alex Simpson gets an iffy initial pull away, but then drives it through well. We've got a car off in the background, but the top 3 cars are looking pretty clean as they head into turn 1. Alex Simpson hold on to that P1 and contact between P2 and P3. So that spiraled second position off. So that was going to be Ricardo Castrolado, I believe, that got spat out to the gravel there. In fact, sorry, it's Javier Soto. So Alex Simpson P1, Castrolado got away with it. He's P2. Oli Picala P3, Yuha Abe P4, Omer Sato P5. He's made up a good few positions, 3 positions from the grid. Antoine Higelin in P6, and then Kazuki Omishima in P7.
Yeah, just looking back at that, it's actually Ricardo just on the outside.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean for both of them going into turn 1, and then just both met in the middle then, coming through the middle of
we've got a bit
turn
of contact. We've got a contact from behind, Fabio at the hairpin. He's made contact with trying to attempt to move.
Yeah, and Oli Picala's under a lot of pressure at the moment from Yuha Abe, so we know they've both got quick pace. Oli Picala should be able to gain a little bit, you'd think, on Yuha Abe. He's had a little bit of a pace on him over the weekend so far. But he's going to be close as they're heading through 130R. See if Yuha Abe can get a good run coming out the exit and look for shape up and move into the chicane. No, Omar Sato behind runs a little bit wide, allowing Antoine Higelin round the outside of the chicane. So they're side by side coming in. Higelin just to cut back to the inside, see if he can get a better exit out onto the front straight on Omar Sato. And he is going to be fairly close. He's not going to be close enough probably for a move into turn 1, but keeping him under pressure.
Yep, as at the back, Fabio has done a brilliant move into the chicane, the last corner on, I'm trying to find who it is, Hagner, and he's up into 10th place, so it's a good start there from Fabio.
Yeah, so Alex Simpson up front, he's just building a little bit of a gap already to Ricardo Castrolado then. So these two have just gapped a little bit Oli Picala in that first lap. Oli Picala's gained that little bit of ground on Yuha Abe, as I thought he might do, might just gain that pace. But really our closest grouping at the minute is P5 and P6 between Omar Soto and Antoine Higelin. So Higelin's really pressuring Soto quite well as they come in through Degner 1, Degner 2.
Got a nice little ball here between Jan, Mohamed,
Zalewski,
as well as Kazuki.
Yeah, we've got a little group in cars.
P7,
So perhaps,
8, 9.
Absolutely. I think Umeshima there is maybe just a little bit of a roadblock. I said he got a good start off the line. He was a few positions further back, so he's just a little bit of a bottleneck at the minute as they head through Spoon Curve. So really, behind, Fabio Di Carmo is very, very close up the back of Mohamed Patel, so he's going to get a good run coming up towards 130R.
I want to say something about Alex is pulling away.
And in fact, sorry, Jan Zalewski managed to make the move on Kazuki there even before they came into 130R. And it's side by side for Patel. Kazuki Omishima's lost 3 positions in that last third of a lap there. So everyone else has shifted forward on and he's been shuffled right to the back. So that's that little bottleneck gone.
Dived straight into the pits. I was wondering if he had actually some damage there.
Yeah, it looked like it must have been something that was off camera then. But yeah, he's decided to dive in straight away. Hopefully he was on a no-stop strategy. He's not going to have to pit again, hopefully.
Just wanted to point out, Alex has pulled away from the field. He was a second quicker then Ricciardo on that last lap, and Alex is now 2 seconds ahead.
Okay, well that's got to be the evidence then that Alex Simpson has kept his strategy from the previous race that I was talking about. He's got to be going for a one-stop strategy. He has to pull the pin. He's got to make up so much time on anyone else who is not going to be stopping. We reckon bang on 30 seconds you're going to be losing in a pit stop. So he's got to get a 30-second gap over the no-stoppers by lap 15, 16. Maybe he might even push on to lap 17 at the very, very latest. He's got to try and build that as much of a gap as he can. So he's going to be pushing really, really hard. And as I said, Castellado in P2, he just had a little bit of a moment there exiting Spoon Curve, so that's really going to give Ollie Piccolo a good run on him down this back straight as I head towards 130R. And that's going to just take the pressure off Simpson a little bit as well, if he knows he needs to be building that space.
Sam Kumo has just come out of nowhere and is challenging for 9th position, which he looks like he has up the inside.
Absolutely, got it done before they even came into 130R there, so that's Fabio Di Carmo down a position.
Yeah.
Sam Kumo hasn't maybe shown his best in the last few races. We know he's very, very quick. Last season he was running essentially at the same pace as Alex Simpson, and I think maybe just with a new build he's not quite been able to rekindle that. He's obviously looking happier here this weekend. So up front, our closest battle at the moment is between Castellado and Ollie Piccolo after Castellado's little error coming through Spoon Curve in the previous lap. So again, these guys are very evenly matched in qualifying. So we'll see if there's any variation of strategy. Ollie Piccolo went for a no-stop in the last race, and really the fact that Castellado maybe isn't able to gap him, perhaps we can assume that he's going to be on the same.
Sam's just pulled up at least over half a second through the S's up to Mohammed.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's going to challenge for a position.
Absolutely. So he's just pressuring him into the hairpin. He wants to get a good exit, good drive, come out the corner. He managed to take a little bit of a tighter line on the exit there, so he's going to get a good run as they come up towards Spoon here. Really, I think probably Sam Kumo's best bet is just going to be position himself well, get as good an exit as he possibly can coming out of Spoon here, heading down a long, long straight towards 130R. It looks like that might have been the case. He just went a little bit slower going in to try and get that better exit, get that better drive.
Had a bit of a wiggle though coming round. Plus he does have the pull.
He's closing, so he's going to stay behind for 130R. If he can stay flat through 130R, which in the dirty air might be a little bit of a challenge, he's not going to be close enough going into the chicane.
Mohammed slightly outbreaks himself there.
He does. Sam's got a good run on him. If he had to check a little bit there, that would be a shame. It looked like he just had to back off a little bit. It was too close to him as they come off the chicane there, so he's lost that momentum slightly. But Kumo really looks like the man on the move. He can gain a good couple of positions in these next few laps.
Just had a little look to just let him know he was in his mirrors.
And just a little bit further up between P5 and P6, Omar Soto had gained a little bit on Anton Higelin. He had just gapped him in the last lap, but he maybe made an error going through turn 1, turn 2, so Higelin is pretty close on the back as well. But Sam Kumo, contact! So it looked like to me that Patel there just went into the S-curve slower than Sam Kumo expected, and now Patel's pushed Michael Goman off at the exit of those S-curves. Michael Goman luckily managed to keep it all together back on the gravel, so Patel just struggling to deal with that damage there. That was a real shame. Sam Kumo was really looking like he was going to be the man on the move there. We've seen a few contacts in races with Sam so far this season where he's maybe got caught out by the speeder cars behind. Maybe it's just where he's getting frustrated not quite having the pace this season that he's shown in previous years.
Yeah, maybe like impatience creeping into Sam's racing.
Yeah, it was only lap 5. He knew he had the pace. He wanted to not waste any time, but that was costly to him. So Anton Higelin close behind Omar Soto. Closest that I've seen him in a couple of laps now as I head towards 130R. He's got a good run on him. Could even be shaping up to look at chicane. So Soto goes defensive, sticks close to the right. Higelin's going to look to go around the outside. He should cut back and try and get as good an exit as he can onto this front straight. And he does, but Soto does a decent job of getting a good drive coming out. And at least he doesn't spin into the pit lane as an awesome little video we saw from him that he posted in the forums earlier this week.
Yeah, Antoine's one of the AR UK new drivers, so showing some good pace here.
Yeah, he is. We've not had a chance really to mention it over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, ARL's just expanded their team a little bit. So we have Anton Higelin, who is really the quickest of these newer drivers maybe. We have Lasse Brun Hansen as well, who's very, very quick. He was running well in the top splits earlier in the week. And Hunter Manley, who's been on the bubble for those top 10 positions for Road to Pro. So yeah, we've just trying to take over this Class A iRacing Grand Prix series just a little bit, I think.
He just seems to be lacking a little bit there through the S's. Does is it Antoine?
Yeah, and it's fairly tough to follow, through those S's. You do get a little bit of understeer as you come through, and easily, through very little visible difference, you can lose just those few tenths as you come through. Right, so now that we've just settled down for a little bit, let's just have a quick run through the top 10. So Alex Simpson, P1, he's doing a decent job building this gap that he needs to do. So he's got a 6.5 second lead at the moment to Castrolado behind. And as I said, we have Castrolado in P2, Ollie Picala dropped back a little bit, just a couple of seconds behind in P3, Yuha Abe, a similar gap in P4, and then there's a fair gap then between Yuha Abe in P4 and Omar Soto being pressured by Antoine Higelin in P5 and P6, they head into the chicane. P7, Jan Zalowski, not that far behind. P8, Fabio DeCarmo. P9, Michael Goman, doing well to recover from his little trip into the gravel to avoid Patel a minute ago. And then rounding out the top 10 is Paul Nelson, who we know is very, very quick in the Star Mazdas, but we've not really seen at this top end of the F1 cars yet, so perhaps he's just gaining that experience now in the FW31.
Higlin again, a lot of pressure on Soto. Soto does seem to be soaking it up though. He knows where he's strong and where he can pull away. Maybe these S's are one of his stronger points, but Higlin is sticking close to him this time round.
Yeah, he's got to hang with him as much as he can for his first half of a lap, and really he's got to focus on being as close as he can coming out the exit spoon curve for his opportunity to have a good run down the back straight. Omar Soto obviously is feeling much more comfortable with his car now. I think this is the first time we've seen him entering one of our strength of field races. He's very, very quick, but I think this is his first real season focusing on the F1 car. He's been a Star Mazda specialist before, as far as I know, so he's obviously gaining in confidence, feeling he can run with these top guys in the top split.
Yeah, just that first couple of... The first sector mainly does seem to drop back a little bit there, does Higlin, but this last sector he seems to pull up a lot more.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of differences in setup, or it could be just dealing with the following in the dirty air, or it could be, again, fuel differences maybe. Maybe Anton Higelin's on a one-stop, perhaps Omar Soto is on a no-stop. But yeah, he's always following very, very closely into the chicane and then isn't quite able to get a good enough drive to stick close as they head in towards turn 1.
And there's not really much happening further back on the field. This is the closest battle on the track at about 0.2 a lap. So we've just gone through the top 10 and it's still looking the same.
Yeah, and it's surprising how many people we've lost actually in already in the race. So just to run through, so we know Javier Sosa, we still have that contact with Castrolado in turn 2 on the very first lap, so he was the first one out. Steve Kazmatis is also out, we didn't see that must have been off screen. Yuri Mansila, Klebe Alvim Tofili as well, they all were off screen. Mohamed Patel, we still have his incident with Sam Kumo. So we've had 5 drivers out already within the first, 7-8 laps. So Alex Simpson's really got the hammer down at the minute, so he's now running pretty light on fuel. He's not got a huge amount of time left until he's going to be pissing. His last lap was a 32.3, and I think in the last race, his fastest lap of the race was a 32 dead. So he's still got, 8 laps of fuel maybe in, so he's really pushing massively as hard as he can to try and make this different strategy work. I would say from the top runners, he's got to be the only person going for this no-stop race. Everyone else surely is, the only one going for a one-stop race. Everyone else surely has got to be on a no-stopper, it looks like.
Yeah, he is 2 seconds a lot quicker than most of the guys on the track, so they do seem to be picking up a little bit there now with the 133s.
Yeah, it does take, with a no-stop, I've been running no-stop this week, not at the pace of these guys granted, but it does seem, from lap 10 onwards, that you can really feel the car biting, especially through the S-curves a lot more, and you can really carry a lot more momentum. Anton Higelin all over the back of Omar Soto as they come through the S-curves at the minute. As I said, he tends to lose a little bit of ground maybe just coming through the second half of the sequence, but he's pressuring and putting Soto under as much headache as he can manage.
If he was just half a second closer than what he has been, he would be possibly in a better position to challenge for this position. But he's just here, straight into the hairpin. he's just a lot quicker. Straight onto the gas, and he gets a better drive out of this section coming round back onto the fast flowing section, as it were.
Yeah, he's done a good job this week to hang with him, so he's close as they come out of the spoon here. If he can get a good exit, then this could be as close as we're going to see him as they head through 130R and into the final chicane of the lap. So see if he's gaining in that slipstream. He is a little bit, so he's going to be close as they come through 130R. If he can stay flat through here in the dirty air, Soto's going to have to go defensive again. Higgling trying around the outside. Is he going to be brave and outbrake him? No, he's going to try and do the cutback again to try and get a better exit coming out of chicane. Oh, Soto bounced over curbs. Higgling's going to have a good run. Higgling had to check up a little bit. That was a shame. He didn't quite manage to stay on the throttle, but he's still going to get him.
Defensive.
Yeah, he's going to go around the outside as I head into turn 1 here. So Soto stays tight. Higgling tries to keep pushing him to the right. He doesn't move out too much. Higgling around the outside. He's going to be brave, hanging on to turn 2. And he makes the move. And is he going to keep it here?
Still side by side.
Still as turn 3. He does. Great move there by Antoine Higgling. Awesome move. Good driving by Soto as well, managing to hold that inside line, not drifting out at all. So let's see now then if Higgling can bolt and really make this gap up quickly, and if he is on a one stop, which we're going to find out, and see if he can make the strategy work now. I hope he's on a no stop.
He's got a 6
gap. Oh, he has a little slide coming out of the exit of Degner 1 there. That really compromised him into Degner 2, but he did a decent job of gathering it back up. It's very easy just to overcook it a little bit onto the inside curb in Degner 1 there and really unsettle the curb.
Just a battle that I'm just watching closely for the past couple of laps now, you two, while you've been seeing that exit move by Higgling. Ricardo Castro here is really under pressure now from Odi Bacana in 3rd place. The gap is just under a second now, and it looks Ricardo's a bit struggling in the first 2 sectors, but he gains all this time, maybe at 2 tenths quicker than Odi Bacana in this last sector, the speed sector, as I like to call it, because it's mainly straights with a flat 130R, and obviously the chicane at the end. So just going to see here, you two, where what the pace is between these two as they cross the finish line now. See if Adi Bacana has gained some time. He has gained time, only by a slight much though, by only about a tenth of a second. So Adi here is going to be pushing. He could possibly, what I've seen, he's been aggressive through the first 2 sectors, where the tyres will degrade the most. So he could be possibly joining Alex in a one stop, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think both these two are definitely on no stoppers. So tyre wear, they're really not going to worry about too much. It's just a matter of how much penalty is it to carry the fuel and what do they think there is worth. So I think it's safe to say that P2 and P3 are on a no stop. Alex Simpson looks to be the only car, maybe in the whole field, but certainly of the front runners that we're watching, who's going to be trying to make this one stop work. He's got another 5 laps or so now to try and build. Well, he's going to need a fair bit more gap. He's got a 15-second gap or so at the moment to Castrolado behind. So let's say he builds another 1.5 seconds per lap. He's going to be a bigger gap in 20 seconds. That means he's going to have to overtake them in that final stint to make that strategy really pay off.
Higgling has pulled up a 0.5 of a second gap, so he's well on his way of catching up to those guys in front. Maybe it's just a little bit too late.
Yeah, I think Higgling will be very happy if he can get that 5th position finish in this strength of field race. He'll be happy with that. He's had an odd, very particularly strong race. I think at Silverstone in the earlier part of the season, but otherwise, this looks like a strong result that he'd be really happy with.
As we can see, Justin Lindsay under a lot of pressure, running wide.
Oh, he's gone off.
Actually, off the track. I think that might have just been the pressure of Alex coming through to lap him. But he still had some time to get through the final S's, but no, Alex Simpson is now putting a lap
on Hagler. He's gone past Hagler already.
Yeah, so that's 13th and 14th, so he's pushing very hard, is Alex.
Yep, his last lap time was in the low 32s, and as Lee said there, he is really pushing these last couple of laps before he will make that pit stop. It's critical, he needs to keep doing low 32s, maybe possibly into the high 31s, and build maybe 2 seconds a lap on 2nd and 3rd place as he's coming down this the back straight now towards the 130R. Lee, is this completely flat, or did they have to lift a bit?
Yeah, completely flat. I said I do wonder if they're very close behind, tucked behind the car in front, heavy fuel. I did feel the need to have a little bit of a lift through there in my races, but these guys, maybe with a better commitment, better car control and confidence in it, they might be able to stay flat. But yeah, otherwise it's not an issue. Great corner, of course. Yeah, it's extremely exhilarating for the driver, but it's easy for that.
Alex must be very low on fuel now. Lap 12, or lap 13 actually now for Alex actually.
Yeah, he would have started with around 45, 46 kilograms of fuel, something like that. And so, yeah, he's on his last, few kilograms. He's going to really try and scrape the barrel and just be on the very, very fumes of the fuel as he runs into the pits in, let's say, another 3 laps, I think. I think he'll probably push on till lap 16. He might split it straight in the middle, lap 15, but it depends where he thinks he's going to gain his time. Is it going to be in the first stint or in the second stint?
Yeah,
So and also, sorry, he's going to have been, I'm sure, looking at the relative screen with the cars 30 seconds behind and trying to figure out where it is he's going to slot in. So if he's got a little bit of flexibility, he may decide to just drop in 1 lap early, 1 lap late, if he thinks that will be the difference of getting clean air or not. Oh, he runs wide coming through Spoon, gathers it back up. He'd lost a second or so there. So, yeah, he's pushing very, very hard.
Yeah, as my prediction is, if he was going to pit now, he will be in the battle with Higglin and Omar Soto. So, in my opinion, he needs to get ahead of Higglin, in my opinion, in this pit stop phase when he does pit.
Absolutely.
If he's got any chance of winning this race.
And that little moment there coming out of Spoon could have been very, very costly. That might end up making a difference as to whether he gets out in front of that battle or whether he gets caught up in the middle of it. So he's got to stay clean but incredibly fast through his last couple of laps now.
Let's just jump back down to Baboni, and I really wish I hadn't have picked this one, but in fact, no, he's got through past Baboni. Not sure if Baboni was a bit wide and off the power, but he just got straight through. Did
Umishima. Yeah.
Umishima.
Well, so he's recovering from his damage that we saw earlier on, so we know he's got a good bit of pace. So yeah, he's trying to make up some positions. And so what is he in now then? So he's up to P11 now.
11 from 12 then, yeah.
And he's got Paul Nelson up ahead. So I think he's got a chance of getting into the top 10.
13-second gap up ahead though. Might sound a lot, but looking at the distance, it's not a huge amount.
So everybody's really strung out a fair bit now, and so really, our excitement, our what we're waiting for, what we're building for, is how this strategy is going to play out for Alex Simpson. That's really the thing that's going to be keeping this race interesting. He might conceivably dive in at the end of this lap, so he's coming through 130R now. I think maybe he'll hang on to try and do one more.
Yeah, surprisingly, when he had that major moment in Spoon, his actual lap time was the same as his previous one, which was very interesting.
Stays out another lap.
Yeah, he stays out one more lap. So this has got to be the lap now he's coming in. He's looking like he's going to be clear of that battle with the 5th, 6th and 7th position. So last time around he had a good 33-second gap. So if he gets a good clean pit stop, he should be alright. He should be coming out in that 5th position.
And he has just broke into the 131s. He's just set a 31.9 on that previous lap.
Yeah, so he is really pushing hard then. So that's his fastest lap compared to his previous race's 4 o'clock race, I think.
He's now got a 20-second gap exactly to Ricciardo.
So just before the situation changes in with Alex Simpson making his pit stop, quick run through the top 10 again. Alex Simpson P1 waiting for his stop at the end of this lap. Riccardo Castroledo P2, Oli Picala P3, Juha Arve P4, Antoine Higglin P5, Omar Soto P6, Jan Zalowski P7, Fabio De Carmo P8, Michael Goman P9, Paul Nelson in P10. Right, so just watching Alex Simpson as he comes through cleanly through Spoon Curve this lap, and we've got to be expecting him coming into the pits, and really then watching closely to see where he manages to pop out and if he can make this strategy work. I think it's going to be tough for him to get back into those first 2 positions, but really perhaps 3rd place is going to be as good as he's going to be expecting. So he comes through the chicane, that's into the right. He comes into the pits, so he's got to push as hard as he can, but make sure he doesn't break the pit limit speed as he goes through the yellow cones there. And Oli Picala and Riccardo Castroledo are going to be cleanly through before he gets out, and then it's seeing where he slots in behind.
Alex did set a PB in Sector 2, so he was on pace.
As he's slowly going down to the pit box, it's quite a long way for him to go.
Yeah, it feels like a long, long time that you're in there. So as Alex Simpson stops, Riccardo Castrolado and Oli Picala flash by. There goes Yuha Abe as well. And then we're going to wait to see where he slots out. So it looks like he's going to slot into that gap behind Yuha Abe, but in front of Anton Higelin. So he's found a good bit of gap then to find himself. So now he's got to push hard. I mean, the problem is, of course, he's now got the same amount of fuel as the cars behind. So that advantage really is gone. But fresh tyres, yeah, maybe it's going to give him a little bit of a help. And he's got a little bit of speed over him anyway, maybe. I think maybe hindsight for Alex Simpson is going to suggest that maybe he one stop wasn't the best way to go, but there's still time yet, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'll probably say the gap is about 12 seconds, I'll probably say, to the leader, but he does really have to push now. He's got fresh tyres, as you've said. He's got drivers ahead of him who are on worn tyres, and he has been going quickly as well. So Alex, as you can see, is giving it all the beans through that coming out of that hairpin there, as he's coming towards Spoon Corner, and I think you can just see the drivers in front of him. You can on the screen, so he's giving it everything. He's being aggressive with the curbs there, coming out of Spoon.
Yeah, so he's got to be getting almost a second lap advantage over the cars in front to make this work. So he's going to close on him. It's just a matter of how much and whether it's enough to make a move as well.
As I believe, Lee, you're going to take us through an onboard lap with Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alex Simpson just coming through the final chicane now to start his lap. So gentle on the power coming out that chicane. Alex Simpson pits. Oh, he must have got pit lane speeding. Pit lane speeding has ruined it for Alex Simpson. That's his strategy gone. That's our entertainment for the race gone. Our question as to how that will play out. Alex has got to be kicking himself. Easy mistake to make, but it was critical that he got it right.
That's a real shame for Alex, and that has just completely blown his strategy out the window there as he pits. Is he putting more tyres on there, Lee?
Yeah, he'd probably just get a set of tyres. It won't cost him anything in time, and he's just got to sit there waiting for the timer to count down to release him again.
Probably 10 seconds.
Oh dear, he's not
shame.
going to be happy inside that car.
He's not going to be a happy bunny, is he?
He's actually should be now down in 10th position.
Yeah, just come out behind Paul Nelson there.
So that's 11th.
Oh, that's a real shame.
So otherwise then, really, our closest battle at the moment is between Fabio Carmo, between Jan Zalowski and Omar Soto. They're all fairly close, P5, 6 and 7. I'm surprised that Soto's dropped back a little bit into their grasp. Higelin's fairly much on his own up ahead. Yuha Abe, and then Oli Picala and Castrolado then are our closest battle. P1 and P2 now, of course.
Yep, and that battle is the difference between the two is 1.1 seconds as Riccardo is crossing the finish line.
Well, exactly. We're going to try an onboard lap with Oli Picala instead. And so turn 1, flat into turn 1. A little bit of a lift, down a couple of gears, P2 into turn 2. Second gear coming through turn 2 there. Hard on the power, running out into that curve on the outside. Through the S-curves, fourth gear, staying tight to the right on the inside, trying to give yourself a decent line through this left-hander. Perhaps just down into third now, coming through this last of the S-curves, trying to stay tight to the right. Give yourself a good, as straight, a clean exit as you can coming up the hill here. Now we're heading towards Degner 1 and then Degner 2. Degner 1, do not touch that curb on the right. It's going to bounce you and flip you up otherwise. Degner 2, down into second gear. All wide for Oli Picala. Has to be careful on the throttle, bouncing over the grass. Into the hairpin now. A little bit of a kink, hard on the brakes, down into first. Oli takes quite a tight line coming in to try and straighten the car up as early as he can. Hard on the power, you can see it squirming around under him as he tries to get on that power. Now we're heading towards Spoon Curve, so he's going to stay close to the right. Very quick entry, down into fifth gear, down 2 gears, down now into third, perhaps even to second, staying trying tight to the left, getting as straight as you can on the steering, getting as hard on the power as early as you can, coming down this back straight. Now we're going to see a 130R, so it's going to be completely flat as it comes through, so tyre close to the right on the approach, turning quite early really, staying flat, using that curb. Into the chicane, hard on the brakes all the way down into first gear, clip the curb on the right, clip the curb on the left as well, run out onto this curb on the right, careful on the power, try not to spin up those rears getting back on, and that's the start finish straight again as I head back down towards turn 1. So pretty clean lap from Oli, just that moment there exiting Degner 2 where he just ran in too hot. It's easily done. It feels you've got to be you got to take it almost too slow, it feels, going into Degner 2. They're right down into second gear, and it's easy just to run in a bit hot. And even if you don't run particularly wide like that, you can just lose some time by not being able to get the power on so early.
Just while I was going through that lap, Higlin was coming to pass one of the back markers, Joni, and he's looked like he's hit the back of him and caused some damage to the front left of his wing. So
yeah, and you really see he's lost a lot of time now to almost Soto behind. So Soto's really closing quite quickly. We'll see how much Higlin can adapt maybe to that damage. See if he can keep a reasonable pace up for the last 10 laps now. So this is our battle at the moment. So P4 Higlin, P5 Soto, Omar, that is, not Javier, and P6 Jan Zalowski. Jan Zalowski's having a good race. This is perhaps as strong as we've seen him in our strength of field races. So he's obviously very happy here at Suzuka.
So Higlin does look like he's coping pretty well with the car so far. I'm not sure if it's affecting any of the left-handers, but sure we'll find out after this lap, see what his lap times are.
At the front, Ali Bacana has pulled another 2 tenths on Ricardo Castro, and the gap now is 9 tenths of a second as they're coming through the S's now. And it looks like Bacana here is very aggressive through the S's, coming beautifully through there. And I think Castro's got a bit of he's not really confident through the sector anymore. With these, obviously the tyres are degrading quickly, as these guys are, as we've said, no stopping. And I think Bacana is probably the most confident person out of the two here, as he goes through this double right-hander under the bridge towards the hairpin corner.
And looks like we've also lost Kozowski.
Yeah, Higlin's under a lot of pressure now from Soto. Soto's got an awesome run coming through the S-curves. He's going to have a little look into Degner 1. It's going to be very tough move. Such a quick entry. He backs out of it wisely. Degner 2 just dropped back a little bit now. So he was very close as they entered that first section there. And he would have been a brave man to dive up the inside down into that, well, essentially not really a braking zone, that fast entry into Degner 1. So Higlin's doing a decent job of hanging on with that damage then, so it's been a good lap and a half or so now, and he's not been dropping back instantly, so hopefully he can stay in some strong points positions.
Yeah, he's not losing a lot of time to the guys in front, but still over a second slower. Let's see what Simpson's doing. Simpson is on 32s. That last lap round, so he's still pushing, but 21-second gap, it might be a bit too difficult for him to pull any points out of this one, but...
Yeah, he's already dispatched Paul Nelson at some point in the previous laps then, so he's moved up one position into P9, but otherwise, that looks like it's his race done. He's not going to be progressing any further than that. So up in P4, P5, P6, Soto's still not managed to get that advantage on Higlin. He's still stuck behind, trying to make that move.
Yeah, this could be a bit of payback from earlier on in the race when Higlin was stuck behind Soto.
Oh, Higlin
So
wide
Higlin's
coming
wide.
out. Oh, he spins.
He's lost it.
Trying to stay off the line, and yeah, Zalowski looks like he gets cleanly through behind there. So shame for Higlin there. Yeah, with that pressure, with that damage, just run a little bit wide coming out. Easily done. Just running
Keep
out
it
of
out
road.
of the wall though. So.
Yeah, that's not so easily done. That's much easier to end up in the wall there. And through that little event, Fabio Di Carmo has gained now a lot on Jan Zalowski as well. So he's going to try and make a move, try and put Zalowski under that bit of pressure. Right, so let's just calm down that little battle that we had through Higlin and for Soto then. So really, closest cars on track at the moment, P1 and P2, that's what we like.
Yep.
Ricardo Castroledo with Ole Pacala in second position. Those are our two race winners so far from the week from any decent kind of split that we've had. So these two are looking to see who can get that advantage, get that extra win over the other.
Yep, Ricardo on that last lap as I was watching him made a load of mistakes, mainly in the middle sector around the hairpin and also at the spoon corner. And the gap now is half a second, so with I think it's 8 laps to go, it's really a 2-horse race for the win. But Also, as well, third position, you've got Abby as well. Only 4 seconds away, so if any of these two make any contact up ahead, he could seize the opportunity and take the victory here.
Yeah, he's always seemed to be there and thereabouts. You know, he's got a good few of his podiums in our strength of field races. He's had a couple of thirds, a couple of fourths, I think. So you're right, he's going to be easily there to collect up any mess.
I think Ricardo's having a bit of under pressure here. I think he's about 6/10 slow on that last lap to Ollie Bacana. As I think Ollie here will have slipstream, I believe so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he'll be getting that effect absolutely. So it's not going to make a huge difference on this lap, but every little bit is going to count. He's going to be gaining those half tenths, those tenths as he goes through.
He's getting very close here.
Yeah, very quick,
Really?
late on the brakes into chicane. So he gained a lot of time on the entry, just whether it cost him a little bit on the exit maybe, but no, I think he gained overall through the chicane there. So he did a very aggressive entry into there and worked out well.
Yep, he gained another 10th on Ricardo there. So if he keeps doing this consistently, you could possibly make an attempt of a move maybe next lap on that main straight.
Absolutely, he's got to get a clean beginning of a lap now as normal, as we've been talking about with the other cars, but he's dropped already through the S-curve, so he's going to struggle to do anything at the end of this lap now.
Dean, how's the battle going on for 4th position going?
For 4th?
Yep.
4th, 5th and 6th, you mean?
Yes.
I'll just have a look. No, it all seems to be stringing out a little bit now, actually.
Or
Fabio-
Ricardo Castrolado just has a little bit of a slide through the hairpin, but also it looks like typically Pacala did as well. So Pacala really missed his opportunity to gain a lot on Castrolado and have that opportunity for move. So he's just blown that little chance there. Really dropped a couple of seconds back now.
Do you think that could be race over? Or do you think Ollie has that pace to catch up and...
I think he's going to close back up. I think he will, but you know that could have been his real opportunity to make a move gone. They've both had good points finishes already this week, so they've not really got much to need to hold back for. So they're both going to want to push as hard as they can for the win, and that probably the win would give them their points result. Maybe second might not be their strongest result of the week. Maybe.
Looks like Heglin has retired. He's showing up on my little app. Not sure what's happened to him.
Yeah, he's definitely missing from the circuit, so perhaps he had another moment, or he's perhaps decided that he's not going to make up any points and it's not worth him continuing.
From that mistake that Ollie had at the hairpin, he only lost 6/10, so he's 1.1 seconds behind Castro here. And he has to do all that hard work again, and do you both think that he has a chance here?
He has, but he's running out of laps. You know, we're on lap 24 now, so they have a reasonably long laps. 1 minute 35s, well, 1 minute 32. Sorry, of course they're running at the moment. But he's not got a huge amount of time to firstly close that gap, and then he's got to make a move as well, of course.
Looks like Justin Lindsay and Yoni Hanger are having a little battle. As I say that, Justin's actually just made it through. Up into 12th position through the final chicane, so...
But he's under pressure here. Hagner's getting some slipstream here on the back of Lindsay. So there could be a good little scrap here for the lower end of 12th position here. But it looks like Justin's probably got the better car of the two setup-wise from what I'm seeing here through the S's. I think his car's a bit more stable. And yeah, I think Justin may...
The damage to the rear wing from when Hicklin was behind, so...
And Hagner has got a bit of a bent on his rear wing as well, apparently.
Well, just whilst things have settled down a little bit, we're waiting to see if Ollie Picala can gain that ground again on Castrolado. I didn't quite have a chance earlier on before the race started to confirm our top 10 from last week for our Road to Pro, the current A-class standings for those looking to progress onto the Pro licence. So just quickly, since we have a moment, Ollie Picala was in top position for P1 after last week at Interlagos. Jorn Jens was second, P2. Jorn Jens hasn't appeared at all this week for Suzuka. He hasn't put a qualifying time in, let alone being in our race. So this is a drop week for Jorn Jens. Yavio Soto, P3, he's not had a good race today. Rocco Barone, P4. Fabio De Carmo, P5. Alex Simpson, P6. Juha Abe, P7. Isaac Price, P8. Troy Schultz, P9. Antoine Higelin, P10. So really, out of those drivers there, well, and Ricardo Castellado down in P11, in fact, in that, he's going to be looking like the big mover then to get into that top 10 position for the standings with his strong results that he's had this week. He's looking like he'll be the biggest mover, I think.
Yeah, just had a quick look back at Higlin. He bumped over the curb at Degner 1.
Yeah, in that inside curb. When I was talking through Ollie Picala's lap, I said you've got to avoid that inside curb at all costs, and that's what happens otherwise.
O'Connor's in the slipstream now as he's approaching turn 1. He's getting really, really close here to Ricardo Castro, as Castro had to really defend really well on that main straight, and he's done it well.
Castrolado's struggling, so this has got to be Ollie Picala's opportunity on these next couple of laps. Now we're on lap 26. We've only got 5 laps to do this in. Yeah, he's got the pace. He's gained up that time in that last lap very, very quickly.
Just to point out as well, Yuo Abe as well, he is catching both of them up. He's pulled, it was 4 seconds a couple of laps ago, it's now 2.9. He was getting a second in 2 laps.
Wow, and if these guys just start battling a little bit, just defending their line, they're going to be throwing away time, hand over fist. So Harbe could be right in there. He's going to get a good drive come out of the hairpin as Ollie Picala, so he's going to stay tight and close as they help up to Spoon. He's not going to go for a move into Spoon, he's going to try and make sure he gets as good an exit as he possibly can to get that good run down towards 130R.
No.
See, but now he's going to lose that time. He's going to not have this good an exit coming out of Spoon, so he's going to have to wait another lap. He was a little bit impatient, maybe.
So a bit of pressure there on Ricardo, though. He did lock up going into the second part of that.
Yeah, he had a moment.
Possibly he's going to just wait and wait out of the chicane and make an attempt out of the chicane. We do know he is aggressive, as you can see, really pushing himself through those curves there. This could be his chance, I think.
Yeah, he got a good exit. It's not going to be enough, though. So let's see if he's going to be a bit more patient this time. So unless Castrolado really makes an error on this first half of the lap,
getting closer,
then Picala really needs to wait until that exit is Spoon.
Ooh.
Very close.
Very close.
You could almost smell his gearbox oil.
And the whole time, Yuhai Abe getting closer and closer, just like Ryan pointed out to us.
We could be in for a 3-horse race, boys, with 3 laps to go, possibly. Well, it looks like Castro's pulled out a bit there through the first sector. But this is probably the sector where Bacana's the quickest of the two. Very, very good through the into this hairpin, but gets a very good exit. Takes a really good line, inside line, nearly hits the curb, and as I say that, there's a back marker up ahead.
Yeah, it gets well out of the way, but it's still going to be a little bit of a distraction. Going to have to hold that tighter line as they come up towards Spoon Curve.
It's Hagner, I believe, who's just let these two through.
It was indeed. So Ollie Picala's going to get a decent run coming onto the back straight here. A little bit of a twitch and a wiggle as he comes out of Spoon. He's going to struggle to be close enough for the chicane, but he's gaining. Perhaps there's a little bit of a difference in rear wing here. Ollie Picala's got a good run, tight and close as they come through 130R. Castrolado's going to have to go defensive.
He's going to make a move.
He doesn't. As Castrolado moves across, he opened the door for him. He invited Ollie Picala straight through. He said, "Yes, I don't want the win. You can have it. Oh, you're welcome to it." That was a real shame. Castrolado just needed to stay close to the right and at least make Ollie Picala have a bit of work to do.
It was a pretty good move that was from Bacana, but...
Oh, it was good. You're right. I mean, he had to make the move. He had to get his braking point right, but it could have been so much harder work for him. Well, we'll see now then if Albe can catch up with Castrolado or whether Castrolado can hang on to the coattails of Ollie Picala. But otherwise, Ollie Picala now, he's going to be running away into the distance, I feel.
Now we have to wait and see. Albe's only 1.8 seconds behind him, so anything can happen with 3 laps to go here. Or is it 2? Is it 2 or 3?
2.5, we'll say.
2.5. But I'll tell you what, Castro's not giving in though. He's still keeping up the pace with Bacana. But as there's a back marker up ahead, I believe it's for Justin Lindsay up ahead. So that could possibly play a role here with these two up front. And go check on what Abe's last time was. It was a 32.5. It was it was nearly a second quicker than both first and second place. So.
Ooh, Ricardo's big slide. Did well to save that, actually.
So again, struggling through Spoon, was it? It's the same as a couple of laps ago where we saw him have to save it as he came through. So now then, Yuha Abe, he's sniffing that second position. Ricardo Castrolado is going to be under a lot of pressure to hold on to this second position now. And we'll see how strongly he defends it, whether he does decide that he's happy just with a podium finish. So we're going to be on to the penultimate lap now. Yuha Abe's got not very long at all, 3 minutes or so, for him to look to make this move into second position. Otherwise, further back, we've not got any other particular battles, not until we get back to P9 and P10, so Paul Nelson defending at the moment from Louis Baboni, but really, we need to be staying at the front and watching these top 3 positions and seeing how it develops. It looks like Ollie Picala's lost a little bit of time in this last lap, so perhaps he just made a little mistake and Castellado's just gained a little bit on him now.
Castro's giving it a full beam through that under the bridge section there. He's still got a fighting chance, I believe, but Arbe has a chance as well. I think he could possibly be in the slipstream now of Castro's with all 3 of them coming towards Spoon, so anything can happen.
And we've got back markers up ahead as well. I think we're probably going to be just about far enough away not to get involved in this very last lap, but if those 2 cars battling, Paul Nelson and Louis Baboni, have a little bit of a coming together, then that could shake up those top 3 positions again. So after 30 laps of racing and 45 minutes plus, those top 3 cars are within just a couple of seconds of each other here. So Alex Simpson could have been in that mix as well, had his one-stop strategy worked out well. That could have been a really epic final few laps to the race. Right, so Ollie Picala crosses the line on to the very final lap now. It doesn't look like Arbe's really managed to gain a huge amount of time on Castrolado, so Castrolado needs to just get a clean lap. Oh, contact up ahead between those back markers, just like I said. Paul Nelson going to be skirting over through the S-curves. He gets out the way of Ollie Picala. Next car's through. Castrolado does Yuhei Arbe get through as well. Arbe's been blocked completely by Paul Nelson there.
Yeah,
but they're through.
Yeah.
So just as I predicted then, that was the opportunity for a bit of drama, was contact between those 2, and lo and behold, that's what we saw. Luckily, thankfully, gladly, those top 3 cars all got through and no positions were changed.
I think that's Arbe's chances gone.
Yeah. So just clean last half a lap from each of the cars now, and then this is going to be our podium result. So it looks like Louis Baboni came off worse there in that little contact between himself and Paul Nelson. But we're just watching the top 3 cars now come through Spoon Curve. They've just got the straight, 130R, and the chicane, and that will be the result classified from there.
Here comes Bacana now. He's coming through the 130R. Let's have a look beautifully through there. He's coming towards the chicane now. And it's just been an absolutely brilliant drive from him today. Made the nice move. He's coming out of the chicane now. Down the main straight now as he's going to take this victory here at Suzuka in the Strength of Field race. And he takes the win. Nicely done. And Ricardo will come in second with Euro RB in 3rd position there.
And so that's 2 wins from 2 weeks for Ollie Picala there from our Strength of Field races. He was ecstatic after his race last week at Interlagos. Right, so then behind, we're way back for P4. So Omar Soto is only just coming into chicane now, a long way back. So Omar Soto is going to get a nice clean exit through chicane. That'll be P4 now then. P5, Jan Zalewski, he'll be very happy with that top 5 result in the Strength of Field race. Fabio Di Carmo, P6. And then everyone else, well, Michael Goman has run out of petrol on the final lap. Michael Goman's trying to push up the hill as he comes to 130R. He might not make it all the way to the chicane. So we'll see how that works out with lap cars and whether he holds that P7. In fact, Alex Simpson then, P7, he just went past. So Michael Goman should hold on to that P8 with everyone else being a lap down. So let's have a quick run through the final results then. So Ollie Picala, great victory, 2 from 2 as we said. Winning at Suzuka. Ricardo Castrolado hung on to that 2nd position. Yuha Arbe in 3rd. That was our podium. Omar Sato in P4. Jan Zalewski P5. Fabio Di Carmo P6. Alex Simpson P7. And I think Michael Goman is going to get that 8th place. We'll see how that works out if he manages to cross the line. And then everyone else was a lap or more down. So, good, exciting end to the race, at least with those top 3 positions all in close proximity. it was a real shame we lost that opportunity from Alex Simpson to see if his one-stop strategy was going to play out. He was the only car that we saw in the whole field going for that one-stop. We didn't see anyone else go for that opportunity. Looks like Michael Gaiman might just be able to roll over the line now. He's made it to the top of the hill and he's got to coast the rest of the way down.
I do have Alex in the ready to interview, so let's just have a minute to catch our breaths.
And first of all, we've got Ollie Picala, who's joined in to speak to us after his second win in 2 races from our Strength of Field coverage on the Sunday night. Congratulations, Ollie.
Thank you very much. So what a race.
Yeah, entertaining. Differences in strategy, differences in pace at the end of the race. Looked like pretty much error-free from yourself, Ollie, to get that win.
Yeah, and it needed. I was struggling very hard in the dirt year of Ricardo. I was faster about almost the whole race, but the dirt year got me really bad and couldn't deliver an overtake. But that end of the race, I'm sweaty as pig, you know.
So a lot of hard work and a lot of concentration involved. So never turned out then that we got to see how the strategy was going to play out with Alex Simpson. If he had worked out his one stop, he got a pit lane speeding penalty. In case you're wondering what happened, do you think you would have had the pace and been able to hold on to that position? Do you think the no stop or the one stop was the way to go today?
I think non-stopper was the way to go today. We were driving the 16 GMT race and Alex did the same. He had the all cleaner and very good pace, but he just lost 7 seconds. And too bad that he got that speeding penalty this time, but I think the no-stopper with very good pace and calm nerves was and is still faster in this season.
So we didn't really have a huge amount of other top guys in this week. So we had no Jorniens here tonight. We had no Rocco Barone, but you've had the pace on everyone this week. You've had 2 wins now from your 2 races. I think you've only done so far this week.
Yeah, 2 wins and 2 races. Yeah, that's correct. So I was practicing this week. I got my new PC and I had everything else to do. So I practiced less than earlier in the Interlagos, but I was surprised that it worked out quite well. So.
And then next week we're going to be at Road Atlanta, I believe. Road Atlanta. I can never remember which 2 is the way round. How are you feeling for next week?
I haven't raced with the F1 in, was it Road America? But I think it would be good. We've found a good balance to our car in last 2 races, and as you can see from the results, we are enjoying it. So I think next week will be nice also, and I hope that everyone else get the pace. This last race was good racing from everybody. So
good. Well, congratulations again. Strong result. Looking like you're going to be holding on to that top position for the Road to Pro standings. We shall look to see if you can make the most of next week as well. Get another strong win or podium result at least.
Yeah, hope so. We will see.
Okay, congratulations again, Ollie. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, and greetings to Ernesto de la Peña. You know that guy with the chief with the beef, the master boss. He made my setup perfect. So thank you, and thank you guys. See ya.
Thank you. So good to see Ollie enthusiastic again, of course, after his second win from these 2 weeks that we've seen. The concentration, he was saying, a lot of hard work keeping it together for that whole race long. So easy on this circuit, just to clip a curb at Degner, just to spin up the rears, coming out of Spoon or coming out of the final chicane. It's a tough circuit to keep consistent, but super fast like these guys are for 30 solid laps. So we've got a little bit of a queue forming, I think, in the interview channel, so we're going to get somebody else in next to see who is going to Alex Simpson, I reckon. See how he feels from his not quite working out one-stop strategy.
Good evening, Alex.
Evening, Alex. How are we feeling? Do we need to get the beeper working to make sure we're not getting any expletives coming through, or have we relaxed enough now at the end of the race?
No, do you know what? Actually, I'm quite chipper about that. I have to say. I mean, I went through it with a different strategy. I knew that it was slightly slower. I was basically hoping that the guys would battle and that would give me the chance to sort of compete with them at the end of the race. And I think they did that when I come out. I was 6 seconds behind Yoo-Hoo, and that put me on, put me on the field. I had a chance to get up to them by the end and have a little pop. But yeah, alas, pit lane speeding on the exit, just getting a bit eager with that button. And yeah, 15 seconds stop go. Gutted, but
some bungee cord.
But never mind. Still happy. Still good fun. I've got me 200 points earlier on, so I'm pretty happy. It was just a bit. The only thing I'm a little bit gutted about is that it ruined a really good spectacle for you guys, I think.
Yeah, we were enjoying for a change having a strategic element to deal with, and that promise of how it would turn out after your pit stop. So, in hindsight, Alex, would you have still stuck for one stops for the week like you seem to have gone, or would you perhaps have gone no stops?
No, I'd have gone one stop again. I genuinely think there was a chance there. If other circumstances had happened, then I might have even have got out in front of them. But as it was, there were and people we were hoping to be towards the front weren't, so the pack didn't get slowed up at all. But we looked at the strategy quite a lot this week and done some simulations and things like that. Took it really in depth. Me and my old man, he's got right into it, so we knew roughly what people were doing, and we felt we had a chance with it. And I've been a bit unfortunate this season, and it was all about being safe, getting away at the start, not getting involved in anything in the first few laps, and then, try and compete with the people who I'm normally around towards the end of the race. And, earlier on that worked absolutely fine in the 4 o'clock race, and if I hadn't have been such a noob, it would have worked again tonight, and just now, and we'd have had a good 4-car battle, I think, for the victory there.
Yeah, well, I say it would have been awesome to have seen that finish. We still had a good bit of entertainment, at least from those 3 cars. So this week, Alex, you found maybe just a little bit of pace, over the top guy, maybe Rocco Barone. He tends to get the pole positions for the week. Is that going to be circuit specific, do you think, or are you going to be carrying this over now to next week?
Well, Suzuka's never been one of my better tracks, actually. I have to say, I was a bit shocked to sort of, see the times. I mean, personal best obviously is that 39.99 on the forum. That puts me sort of just over 1/10 of a second behind, so I was really happy with the pace, and it was consistent as well. The car, I felt like I could push it. I was a lot more comfortable in this race, so I'm hoping some of the work that I did on setup, give a shout out to Marcus Caton. We've been doing a lot of work together, bouncing ideas off of each other, and it really took me in a new direction, and I started to understand sort of how to set the car up a little bit more. What I was doing differently from last season just wasn't working at all, and while just bouncing the ideas off, I was just able to really find something that worked for me. I mean, I didn't run anything similar to what he was running. I went a completely different direction for my own style, and yeah, it felt really, really good, and I'm hoping we can carry that forward into Road America next week and get another good run there. Albeit that will be a no-stop, guaranteed, with a 40-second pit stop.
Ah, that's a shame. Well, we enjoyed our one single week of a whole season where we had a little bit of variation at least. So good luck for next week then, Alex. Hopefully the ARL team in general will have a better bit of luck in the strength field race. I think everybody else in the races tonight all had contacts. You were the only one to escape just with a penalty instead. So well done, nonetheless. Good to go through a different bit of strategy, and we shall see you next week.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate you spending your time, doing the broadcast and stuff like that. So it's nice to be on this end of an interview rather than that one.
You are very, very welcome, of course.
Thanks, lads.
Thank you.
Oh, make sure you get Ricardo up.
Yeah, we're gonna grab him now.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Bye. Right, so as Alex was suggesting then, next up, looks like it's going to be Ricardo Castrolado. We can see how he feels after his podium result. And then right on cue, here he pops into the channel. Evening, Ricardo. How are you feeling after your exciting end to the race and that second position finish?
Hi guys, thanks for the broadcast. It was an incredible race. I make a good start, but I had an incident with Javier. I'm very sorry. Sorry, Javier, because I think it's a lag. After I see Alex, who was very, very fast, I was thinking he was in pit stop strategy, and I tried to keep the gap to Roddy because he was very, very close to me. And when I see Alex stop, I was first. It was a great pressure because Oli make a great pressure. It was very, very close. I made a lot of mistakes, and he passed me. And after I tried to keep the gap, but I made a mistake, and after I tried to finish in this second place, was a great result.
When you say Ollie Picala making that move into the final chicane of a lap, Ricardo, you decided not to go defensive. Had you decided that you were happy with that second position, or had you just felt he wasn't going to make that move?
Yes, I tried to be more safe as possible because I need a lot of points, and I didn't close the door because I was thinking Oli didn't try to pass me, but it's what you do, and I'm a bit disappointed because of this, but it's a race.
And you're absolutely right, saying with points. You're having a quick look now. Yeah, that was by far your strongest points finish of the race. So yeah, not settling for that second position, but being sure that you were safe, as you said, to get that opportunity for the points. Yeah, that definitely was going to be worth it then.
Yeah, I gain a lot of points, and I'm very, very happy for this.
So that's going to give you a good bump up the standings then, Ricardo. I think you were, I was looking earlier, I think you were 11th in the A-class standings as of the end of last week. Is this circuit specific? Is Suzuka a real favourite of yours, or have you maybe found something that's going to carry on that pace to next week as well?
Suzuka, it's not my track. I trained a lot this week because I was on holidays, and I didn't understand the track, but I had a lot of time to play, and I understand the track during the week, and I had a great setup, and it worked very well during the race. I'm very happy of my result because I didn't expect that for this week.
Well, congratulations again. Hopefully you can repeat this strongest points finish next week at Road America as well, and keep your charge going as you work your way up the standings.
Yes, I love Road America, and I will try to make a lot of points because I love this track, and I will have a lot of time to play in Road America.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at the top next week as well, then, Ricardo. Thank you very much for joining us, and as I say, we shall see you next week, I'm sure.
Thanks. See you next week, and thanks for the broadcast.
You're very welcome. Thanks for giving us some entertainment in those last few races to watch as well.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think that didn't expect that at the end. Is pretty much wraps up then, and we're going to be finishing up on the stream. I think we've already seen all the sponsors fly through already, so a quick reminder just to thank GT Omega Racing, Sim News Daily, ARL. Don't forget you can find us on Twitter and on Facebook and all of those normal sorts of things. We shall see you next week, Sunday, 6 o'clock, Strength of Field race at Road America. As Alex told us, we're not going to get that strategy perhaps so much next week, but nonetheless, I'm sure we will get an entertaining race. Thank you, Dean. Sorry for hogging all the questions there in the interviews. I shall see you next week as well, I'm sure.
Give me a chance to have some pizza, so thank you very much.
That's right. I'm going to go and have my chili con carne in a moment. And thank you to Darren, of course, and the cameras as normal. And we shall see you all next week. Goodbye.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.